Saturday evening in Serie A, Wednesday night with the Coppa Italia on the line. These two meetings between Lazio and Inter go together like a horse and carriage. The Nerazzurri play for the first time as newly crowned champions. As for the Biancocelesti, they still have a chance of finishing 7th, and therefore they have two viable routes into Europe next season. It's not full this evening at the Olimpico. It'll be packed to the rafters on Wednesday. Inter hoping to win for the first time as newly crowned champions. Lazio hoping to claim maximum points to keep the pressure up on Atalanta. Lazio-Inter on this sunny Saturday evening in May. Tonight's game is worth 3 points in the Serie A table. Wednesday night we'll see a trophy up for grabs. Lazio and Inter face off for the first of two meetings in 4 days. Manuel Pascali, and immediately Noslin is penalised. Good evening.
Good evening, Patrick. Yes, Noslin has been terrific in the last couple of games under this man. Sarri discovered a new position for the man that played for Verona previously. Sarri is doing an amazing job, Patrick, this season, considering where Lazio started at the start of this campaign.
Bisek with the long throw. Thuram trying to flick it on. Lautaro Martinez. That is Inter in a nutshell. It's a long throw. Thuram flicking it on, and his old mate knowing exactly where to be. The capo cannoniere in waiting gives the Nerazzurri, gives the champions the lead.
They love to play each other together, Patrick. Simple as that. You can see long throw from Bisek. Great flick by Thuram, and who's there? The captain, the leader, the charismatic number 10, Lautaro Martinez, who's back. It breaks the deadlock. As we can see from here, too many players around Thuram, 3 against 1, but the number 9 is able to win the ball in the air. And here, Gila, too slow to react. Even Sucic has to be tighter on the number 10, who, with a full volley, finds the net.
And immediately the chorus of alle, Inter. They're outnumbering almost the Laziali this evening. Sucic, Mkhitaryan, ran into Rovella. And the feeling was that Lazio would be even sturdier at the back with Mario Gila back in the side, having missed 6 of the previous 10 through injury. There was a famous 6-0 win for Inter here against Lazio, and Mario Gila came off after 28 minutes. They really missed him on that occasion. The Biancocelesti need to make sure they don't have a repeat of that result this evening. That could be really psychologically damaging ahead of the cup final. But we learnt last season when Milan beat Bologna at San Siro and then lost to the Rossoblu in the cup final that doesn't necessarily always tally one result with the other.
Yes, correct. Patrick, will be a completely different game, especially because the stakes will be really high. Silverware is on the table, but too easy for Lautaro to find the net in between Gila and Maros. Just stay tight on him, don't let him strike it with so much freedom inside the 6-yard box. No chance for Motta.
Lazio had to come from behind to beat Cremonese on Monday, but it's one thing defeating the Grigio-Rossi, it's another beating Inter. Acerbi, Thuram allowed to turn. This is Diouf arriving. Diouf, Motta straight to Thuram. Struck it well and didn't miss by much.
Yeah, but look like every single time Inter's got a chance, they're gonna trouble Lazio. Acerbi winning the ball back immediately, feeding the French striker. Good ball in by Diouf, good clearance by Motta. And on the rebounds with the half volley, Thuram.
Mkhitaryan carrying the ball. Does feel unlikely that any Italian team will be able to emulate Mourinho's treble-winning team. But Inter have gone closest to winning the Champions League from an Italian perspective in recent years. 2 finals in now 4 years. Bisek. Mkhitaryan keeps it moving. Thuram got there ahead of Cancellieri, and the referee gives Inter a free kick, quite rightly so.
And I think, look, Thuram is not happy because he was completely unmarked on the weak side of Lazio defenders. I'm not sure if Cancellieri caught the number 9. That's what Maruzic is complaining about with Abisso.
It's Barella. Motta had it covered.
Yeah, not far away from the target. You always need something special from that distance outside the box to go over the wall. This is a good try by the number 23.
Those last 3 replays giving us a better insight into how close Barella came. For a moment it looked goal-bound, but the ball always... Maruzic, not too far away from finding Noslin.
And that was a decent ball. Decent ball by Maruzic.
Inter's shirt isn't currently adorned with anything besides their crest, but they will wear the Scudetto on their shirt next season. It's the Italian tricolour in the form of a shield. They could have the Coccarda as well, circular rosette of the same colours if they win the Coppa Italia. And if they were to win the Coppa Italia, they can also ask for a special dispensation to have a silver star for their 10th triumph in the domestic cup. Already have 2 golden stars on their shirt for 20 league titles, which has now become 21.
And that would be some achievement by Chievo, by the way, just after a year and a half to be in the business as a manager with the first team, obviously.
Good ball from Mkhitaryan. Bastoni now. Juve in the middle. Still Bastoni. Lautaro takes over. Lautaro Martinez gets it back from Juve. Lovely 1-2. Sucic now! That's one of the goals of the season from the champions. Cheeky combinations, 1-2s, and a superb finish to top it all off.
How do they call it in Spain? Tiki-taka by Inter. Great move. First touch football all around the park in the last 20 meters for Inter. And again, 5 minutes before the half-time, Inter are finding the net for the second time here at the Olimpico. But this man scores just screamers. Look here, Bastoni, Lautaro. Combination between Lautaro and Diouf a couple of times, then the ball reached number 8 at the edge of the box. Left foot, no chance for Motta. Another brilliant goal by Inter.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Manuel. Petr Sucic only scores stunning goals, just placed it beautifully beyond the reach of Edoardo Motta. A stunner to send Inter into the cup final against Como. He scored a brilliant goal against Fiorentina. No added time, perhaps a bit of mercy shown there by Rosario Abisso, but Lautaro Martinez took his tally to 17 in the league after just half a dozen minutes. Sucic scored a stunning second in the latter stages of this first half. And the champions are cruising here in the capital. How damaging will this scoreline be to Lazio ahead of Wednesday's cup final? We will find out in the coming hours and days. At the break at the Olimpico, Lazio 0, Inter 2. Welcome back out to the Stadio Olimpico. Inter 2 goals up at the break. Barella coming off for Fratesi at the start of this second half. Anjou Boni is on as well for Chievo's champions. A reminder that Chievo has now won the title as a player and as a coach. Won the treble as a player, could win the double in his first season at the helm of the Nerazzurri. Davide Fratesi, a Roman. Spent some time in the Lazio Academy as well growing up. It's Thuram who's made way for Boni meantime. Inter 2-0 up. A game that they didn't need to win. You felt Lazio did need maximum points, not only to land a psychological blow ahead of the cup final, but also to keep dreaming of 7th place in the table. Manuel Pascali, what do Lazio need to do to try and come from behind here? Welcome back.
Yes, Patrick, they need to do more, because in the first half they never troubled Martinez, really. One free kick from the distance by Nosling, but not much. They need to do something more. Now fresh legs for Inter up front. Boni is on the park, and Fratesi, always a danger.
Lautaro Martinez boxed in, manages to find Bastoni. A reminder that Inter's most recent away game, they were 2-0 up at Torino. They drew 2-2, so it can happen. But Lazio need to be a lot better than they were in the opening 45 minutes. Bisek. Put into touch by Basic.
And opposite with Fratesi, you got completely different midfielder compared to Barella.
Sucic with the free kick. Romagnoli flicked it away from danger. Kept alive by Carlos Augusto. In by Bastoni. And Edoardo Motta nearly lost that there.
Yeah, good catch, brave, because the ball was really, really high in the air. Basic is doing a decent job protecting his goalkeeper.
That was a confident ball out from young Motta. Given away by Pedro of all people, Mkhitaryan. Boni tried to flick it on for Bisek. Lautaro's found him. Jan Bisek! And Bisek again. Motta was brave with the double save.
Decent try by Bisek, found by Lautaro. Good save by Motta.
Sucic breaking the lines for Lautaro. Carlos Augusto, Lautaro again into centre third in the offing. Lautaro, Fratesi, good feet from him, but no end product.
It's incredible. His quality to be always in the right spot at the right time in the last 20 meters. Great job again by Lautaro, like a proper number 10. Great skill, quick feet by Fratesi from a tight angle. He tried to surprise Motta.
Martinez, risky ball because Sucic didn't get there. Patrick for Pedro. Now Basic. It's dragged wide, an apologetic hand up from Pepe Martinez.
This is a dangerous one on Boni.
Well, Francesco Meraviglia might have a look at this because it was very high from Alessio Romagnoli. Ended up raking his studs down.
Because if it's
back of the calf
on the shin, Patrick, there maybe could be a red card, but now I think they're gonna have a look because it's dangerous, and Saki is just a couple of meters away, and Kivo is asking for
It does look like we're going to have an on-field review here. Possible red card offence from Alessio Romagnoli, and Lazio, who've had so many red cards this season and already trailed by 2-0, could now find themselves down to 10 men. It's very high, Manuel. The studs are showing.
Yeah, that's what we are talking about, yes, you mentioned, I think Lazio picked 7 red cards in the league. This can be the 8th one. Inter 0 this season.
Well, they are instructed to look at the dinamica. That's actually a slow-mo, which makes it look worse than it is, and that's why Maurizio Sarri's unhappy. But we're about to hear from Rosario Abisso, presumably, why this yellow card is to be upgraded to a red.
A seguito di revisione, il numero 13 della Lazio commette un grave fallo di gioco. Decisione finale, espulsione.
Serious foul play from Alessio Romagnoli, hence the sending off for the Lazio centre-back. Carlos Augusto, meantime, Motta makes the save. Luca Pellegrini, good ball that. This is Isaacson. Carlos Augusto has saved a goal there.
Fantastic, because I think that ball was going to end up in the net. Yeah, but here, where is the Carlos Augusto? A great recovery run. Look this. That's a good effort by Isaacson. A wonderful block by Carlos Augusto.
Sucic turned into trouble. Dia, now Noslin. All of a sudden it's 3v2 for Lazio. Tijani Noslin. Another chance for Isaacson. And Martinez pushes it behind.
And this time, Isaacson controlling the ball, not maybe the way he thought he was going to control and set up on his favorite left foot. But this is where Inter struggle, especially in the first part of this season. Transition.
Luca Pellegrini. Now Noslin. It's gone wider since Diaz come on. Noslin, Dia. Noslin drops the shoulder. Great challenge from Luis Enrique.
Terrific challenge, because Noslin is a player in his own form. Great combination with Dia. Cheeky 1-2 with the back heel, the number 19, and here, great control. This is trying to place the ball at the far corner.
Noslin. Delebashir has lost it. This is Juve, and now Boni for Mkhitaryan, out of his feet and into the roof of the net. Mkhitaryan on target in back-to-back games for the Nerazzurri. He got the second against Parma, he scores the third at Lazio after the Biancocelesti just gifted possession to the champions.
Yeah, for a second I thought that everybody thought that Boni was going to lose the ball from an interesting position, but he found the Armenian star with a nice touch, went past the defender, and they strike it well. Just there you can see Delebashir losing possession under massive pressure. And near Boni, everybody's expecting him to strike, but no, he picked Mkhitaryan and strike it to the roof of the net, finding the third goal.
Here's Luis Enrique meantime, they want a fourth Inter. Mosconi into the area, nearly had a debut goal. Juve. Rosario Abisso calls time on yet another Inter victory. All smiles for Lautaro Martinez and the champions. It was his early goal that put them on easy street. The second was added by Henrik Mkhitaryan. The third by Henrik Mkhitaryan after Petr Sucic had scored the second. In amongst all that, there was a red card for Alessio Romagnoli. An evening to forget for Lazio. They'll try and go one better on Wednesday in the cup final. It ends in the capital. Lazio 0, Inter 3.